Every night at exactly 3 a.m., Daniel's alarm clock glowed like a warning from another world. Not because it rang, because he was already awake. His eyes would snap open in the darkness, heart pounding as if he had forgotten something important. The room would be silent except for the soft ticking of the old clock beside his bed. Tick, tick, tick. And then the thoughts would come. What if I fail my exams? What if I disappoint my mother? What if everyone else succeeds except me? Daniel was 19, a university student carrying more fear than books in his backpack. During the day, people thought he was quiet and focused, but inside his mind there was constant noise, endless conversations, imagined disasters, future failures replaying over and over before they had even happened. At night, the noise became unbearable. He would stare at the ceiling, imagining himself failing tests, losing opportunities, becoming another forgotten young man struggling to survive. The future felt like a giant storm slowly moving towards him. And every night at 3 a.m., the storm arrived. One cold Thursday evening, the electricity suddenly went out across the neighborhood. The lights died, the Wi-Fi disappeared, the fan stopped humming. Daniel groaned softly. "Perfect," he muttered. Unable to sleep, he walked outside onto the apartment balcony. The city looked different without electricity. No glowing windows, no television sounds, no distractions. Only silence. For the first time in months, Daniel could hear the wind moving through the trees. On the balcony next door sat Mr. Takeda, an elderly man who lived alone. Daniel had seen him many times watering plants or drinking tea quietly in the mornings, but they had never spoken much. Tonight, the old man sat calmly in the darkness, holding a steaming cup. "You are awake again," Mr. Takeda said gently. Daniel looked surprised. "How do you know?" The old man smiled. "Your room walks louder than your feet." Daniel laughed weakly. After a moment, the old man asked, "What chases you every night?" Daniel leaned against the railing. At first, he wanted to say nothing, but exhaustion loosened the truth from his chest. "Everything," he whispered. He spoke for nearly 20 minutes, about school, about pressure, about fear, about feeling left behind, about the future waiting like a judge. Mr. Takeda listened quietly without interrupting. When Daniel finally finished, the old man pointed towards the dark sky. "Do you see those clouds?" Daniel nodded. "They move," Mr. Takeda said. "Always moving. Thoughts are the same." Daniel frowned. "That doesn't feel that way." "Because you sit inside the storm instead of watching it pass." The old man took a slow sip of tea. "When fear enters your mind, you invite it to stay for dinner. Then you ask it questions all night long." Daniel looked down. That was exactly what he did. "What am I supposed to do then?" he asked. Mr. Takeda smiled softly. "Listen." "To what?" "To the silence between thoughts." Daniel almost laughed. Silence was impossible in his mind. But the old man closed his eyes peacefully. So Daniel tried the same. At first, all he could hear was anxiety screaming inside him. Fail, lose, disappoint, not enough. But underneath the noise, there were smaller things. Wind, breathing, leaves moving, the distant bark of a dog, and slowly, space. For the first time in months, Daniel noticed that his thoughts came and went on their own. He did not have to chase them. He did not have to solve every fear before sunrise. They were only thoughts, clouds, nothing more. The power eventually returned, and lights flickered across the city again. Mr. Takeda stood carefully and picked up his empty cup. "Tomorrow will arrive whether you worry or not, so why suffer twice?" That night, Daniel returned to bed. At 3 a.m., his eyes opened automatically again. The clock glowed red in the darkness. But this time, he did not fight his thoughts. He simply watched them pass. And somewhere between one breath and the next, Daniel finally fell asleep.